All righty. Welcome to the Randy Cross Podcast. This is the last episode of this season, Season 2, Episode 14. We're just going to end it with the big game. And all those Super Bowl parties you went to yesterday, I was no exception. My daughter Kelly and her husband Dirk and two amazing granddaughters, Charlie and Cameron. We had all kinds of fun. There was great food. Those of you that follow me on Twitter and Instagram and all that stuff know I do a little barbecuing, and I did a gigantic pulled pork, a big pork butt, about 14 pounds of it. So we'll be eating pork butt in the Cross House for quite some time to come because we didn't eat but a small amount of that. But it was food. It was like your house. There was food. There was beer. There were chips. There were wings. There was, for some reason, vegetables. I never understand the vegetable part, but I think that's all guilt. Yeah, that's what that is. That was guilt before the game. But the party's amazing. And I know people recognize now what a big deal Super Bowl is. The week leading up to it is bigger than it's ever been. The night leading up to it is when the NFL gives up all their awards, which is fantastic. At the same time, same weekend, you're naming this year's class to the Professional Football Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio. So all the 2020 notifications have been made. You're ending your football season. For all intents and purposes, football won't have very much to do anymore until, well, the combine and the draft, and no one does better than the NFL in scheduling their off season because there's an event every month from now until the game starts again. Now, there is the XFL, but that's a hangover for another Monday because this is Hangover Monday, and Hangover Monday deserves the name because there are a lot of people, and it's not just because you happen to be a 49er fan and your team lost. No, that's not the problem. The problem was the aforementioned beers and the aforeshown bottles of various beverages, and people just get a little out of hand, especially when you win. I think those fans probably partied a little harder. Those Chief fans, for the first time in 50 years, they have themselves a championship, and that's fantastic. But the whole Super Bowl experience overall, for me, was fantastic. We had a great party. My family kind of semi-puts up with me because I'm a guy that not only did I play football for 21 years, in the last 31 years, I've worked as a football analyst. So what you do when you're a football analyst is, to a large degree, you kind of turn off your fan brain. Yesterday was a chance for me to kind of try to turn my fan brain back on. I didn't do a very good job, as I'm told quite often by the people I'm around, because you have to look at it pretty dry and analytically, just kind of see what's going on, call a spade a spade. And it's hard at times. It is. But there was nothing wrong with the day. The day was amazing. And it got even better the closer we got to the game. I don't know if you saw that piece that Fox did featuring Johnny Cash's song. That old flag. It was stunning how good that was. And in these days of the ultra woke, ultra alert, ultra aware days, it was great to see a piece that was just about kind of Americana. And they did a really nice job. Then you've got God Bless America. I thought that was fantastic. I thought the national anthem was fantastic. And sure, you're going to turn on social media today. You're going to LinkedIn or wherever you're at, or Twitter or Facebook, and you're going to see stuff where celebrities decided that was a good time for somebody to have to look at them, and they weren't going to stand for the national anthem. But hey, my old team just sort of represented that whole thing for a while. They were in the game, so I guess it was a reminder. But anthem was good. God Bless America was fantastic. And the game, truth be told, was actually really, really good. Really good. Not the result I wanted. I did lose money to Jason Bailey at Rock 100.5 down here in Atlanta. And I will deliver every cent I owe him. Let's see, $100 is 10,000. I wonder how heavy 10,000 pennies are. We're going to find out. All right, that'll do it. Let's head on out to sports. Yes. Now, for one of the sillier things you have got to do these days around the big game is call it the big game. I guess you can throw the 54 in because it's not in Roman numerals. And this is kind of our recap of the game yesterday. It was fully deserved by the Kansas City Chiefs because, you know, as the saying goes, as the line went in the play and hit movie, Glenn Ross. I believe it was, I won't even say his name, but an actor in Glenn Ross said coffee is for closers. Great term. Coffee is for closers kind of explains it. But besides coffee, these are for closers. Super Bowl rings are for closers. And Kansas City closed that game. Big play defensively, big play offensively. They, in the fourth quarter, were discernibly better than San Francisco. And they deserve to be world champions. Niners played pretty well. They had their moments. They had a 10-point lead. Wasn't a 25-point lead, but it was a 10-point lead in the fourth quarter. And they couldn't make it stick. The defense did a good job with Patrick Mahomes and that offense until that fourth quarter spurt. 21 points in the fourth quarter. Down 20-10, and you win 31-20. Got to give all the credit to the Kansas City Chiefs. And as a result, when you give all the credit to one side, sure, there's going to be some blame to go around. But none of it sticks to Andy Reid. He gets himself a trophy. Clark Hunt, whose dad, Lamar Hunt, founded the Kansas City Chiefs, were able to lift that last night. They'll be off to Kansas City after the press conference this morning in Miami. And you be sure to tune in for that. That is going to be a parade. That is going to be a celebration. Congratulations to Kansas City. You deserve it. What a great job you did. All right, number 2, the other bowl. Well, actually, there were 2 other bowls. One was the Doggy Bowl, but the one everybody watches, and I mean everybody, on Animal Planet, is the Puppy Bowl. And yeah, I'm going to be honest. I watched it. I had me a little Doggy Bowl. I watched me a little Puppy Bowl, you know, and there's nothing wrong with that. This is fun. And these are all rescue animals. So people get to adopt these dogs. But don't forget, there's a lot more dogs out there that need adoption. Dogs, cats, everything else. But like all things in life, there's got to be winners and losers. The winner gets the trophy. The loser gets held and looks dejected. Poor dog. Hey, speaking of winners, there was a golf tournament this weekend. It was called the Waste Management Phoenix Open. Now, it used to just be the Phoenix Open, but now it's the Waste Management Phoenix Open. It's the most attended golf tournament in the world. You saw that last shot where you saw the back of what looked like a stadium? That was that right there. That is the 16th hole. That's ranges from like 125 to 155 yard hole. Look at all those people. They heckle. It hums. They yell. It's very ungolfish. And this year was no exception. A lot of guys made a run at it. Tony Finau was there. There were all the big names, it seemed. Ricky Fowler. They were all there. But Webb Simpson was the guy that at the very end of this thing came down and won the tournament. And what do you get for winning a golf tournament? Just a regular old stop on the tour? Yep. that graphic has not added too many zeros. $1.3 million. Finau got a little over $750,000. Justin Thomas, boy, that's like a slap in the face getting $386,000, ain't it? Oof, too bad. My condolences. But, we made fun of the trophy last week, and we got to give credit where credit is due. The big charitable group in Phoenix for this tournament are known as the Thunderbirds. So that crystal Thunderbird has always been somehow a part of the trophy for this tournament. Pretty cool trophy. I like that so much better than the dead tree from last week at Torrey Pines. Great. All right, and our last little spot of news. You heard about the scandal around the Houston Astros and the, reading pitches, stealing signs, whatever you want to call it. And when I was in San Francisco playing for the 49ers, around the same time, there was a great guy that was there. He went to Mississippi State, played baseball, was probably the best player in the history of that school. But he also played for the San Francisco Giants, and always known as a guy that had pretty good opinions, wasn't afraid to talk about it. But here's Will Clark, and Will Clark has a very good explanation of this whole thing and how people should sort of look at the Astros and everybody else that's cheating, because trust me, the rest of them are cheating. Listen to Will.
The Houston Astros sign stealing scandal that's going on. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, my God. All right. Let's see. How can I put this mildly? They got caught. All the rest of us, we didn't get caught. Look, sign stealing and stuff like that has gone on for a while. It's just the way it was in baseball. You tried to get the third base coach's signs. You tried to get the catcher's signs. You tried to get all kinds of people's signs to help you do your job. And they got caught.
But using technology, a camera in center field, and that's on a different level. Yeah,
I know it's on a different level, but, also you need to use a little common sense. If you think that, hey, look, these guys are taking pretty darn good swings off of us, they might have our signs, let's change the signs. There's all kinds of ways to get around these kind of things. And the other teams that they facing didn't do it.
Do you think the Dodgers should be the World Series champs?
No. You will never hear me say that.
And that's for a lot of reasons. That would be the snitch, whistleblower, the genesis of the whole story and problem. But Will Clark, well done.
This is the good news. This is the good news.
Well, our good friends at the Dodo, almost every time, if not weekly, daily sometimes, come up with some pretty amazing pet animal stories, specifically dog stories. And this story here is about faith. And the faith that not only the dog had, but there were people out there that had faith in the dog to take care of it. Check this out.
Faith was found on the side of the road. It was very clear that she was injured. She could not walk. So the Good Samaritan picked her up and took her to a shelter. I said, I'll take her. I'm going to help her recover.
I'm going to get you all fixed up, okay? Don't worry.
Even being in as much pain as she was in, she was all kisses.
It's okay, Faith. You're in good hands now.
The vet said she had 2 broken legs. She needed surgery. Faith was a fighter, and I knew that she was going to pull through.
I know that doesn't feel good.
All she wanted to do was cuddle. She was able to stand, but she couldn't walk. When we picked her up, the vet said, don't expect her to move around much. So they put her in my car. I had a young volunteer with me. Faith stood up and crawled in his lap.
Tail's wagging right now.
It really spoke to her and her determination to walk again. When Faith first got here, we kept her just in a small area away from my other dogs where she could heal.
Did you chew up some paper towels? That's not a good girl. But look how cute you are. She's only using 3 of her 4 legs.
And then she started learning to walk again.
Yay! All right, let's go outside. She just wants to be so near me that I can't even get her on video. She's so stinking sweet and cuddly.
To see her move around and happy was huge progress.
Do you hear some noises? Are you protecting the house?
I was really glad to hear her bark because that meant that she was feeling better.
The first time Faith has jumped on the couch with me.
She really came out of her shell.
No remotes, but you can chew this. Go check out your backyard. Let's go. Good girl. Go. They what broken femurs? I don't know who taught her to fetch or if she's just a natural. She's been through a lot in her short life. It's just amazing to me that a dog can suffer the kind of injuries she did and still be so resilient. And I feel grateful I get to bring her into my life. She brings a smile to my face, and hopefully I do the same thing for her.
All right, fantastic stuff. Thank you again to the Dodo. You guys do some pretty crazy work. You tend to find every great animal story there is out there. And Old Faith there is just another example. Hey, want to remind you, social media-wise, how did you find us? Easiest way, randycross.com. At the Randy Cross Podcast. Got barnburner.ca, grillingtruth.com, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, iTunes, Twitter. We got it all going on. Thank you so much. Hope you appreciated this 14th episode of our second season. And starting next week, when football goes away, we'll be doing a lot more topical type things. We'll get back into the concussion issue. We'll get back into some of the local news here in our Atlanta area. But more than anything else, we'll try to give you a little information and have some fun. Have a great week. And here's our last football happy trails of the year.